Well, good evening. It is about 10 o'clock and I'm in my camper van about to get hopefully about 3 hours sleep before I go back to Durdle Door. Now, I was here a bit over a week ago, I think it would have been, in the hope that I would capture the Milky Way, and as some of the footage that I'm going to show you now explains, that just wasn't going to happen. Good evening and welcome. I am at the famous Durdle Door, and according to weather and radar at the moment, we're right on the edge of some cloud here. Well, this is not a good start because at the moment I can't actually see any stars. Well, sad to say, I have been down here on the beach now for, well, about an hour and a quarter, and I haven't seen a single star. I don't know whether it's just haze or sea fog or whatever, but we are enveloped here. I'm back. I'm determined not to miss the best of the beginning, at least, of the Milky Way season here. And so I'm back once again. And I'm going to try and continue the plan that I put together then. So I intend to do some kind of a time lapse from the beach rather than from the cliff, which was as planned last time. So I'm getting tired, so I'm going to get a little bit of sleep now, and I'll catch you either on the way down to or at the beach as and when I've got anything further to report. I'll catch you soon. Well, hello again, and you find me now on the roadside down to Durdle Door, and I think the time, it's about 1:45, and so we're just over an hour before the Milky Way galactic core is due to pop up over the horizon. So that's due at 2:56. So hopefully I've left plenty of time to get set up, and well, let's see how it goes. The skies are clear, unlike last time, where by this time of the night, unfortunately, it had completely clouded over. And although I could see the arch of Durdle Door, that was about all that I could see. So I have great hopes now for much better things tonight. I can see the lights of Portland Bill, and I couldn't see those last time. It was so foggy. Right, so I'm looking forward to this. Okay, I am on the beach at Durdle Door. Let's go zoom in a bit, shall we? There we go. I'm on the beach at Durdle Door, and it's about 10 to 4. I can't believe how quickly the night has gone. I suppose I've got about another hour of shooting, something like that. I have two cameras set up, so I've set one up for a time lapse, and that's still going. It'll be going for about another hour or so. And the other camera, I've decided to do more creative stuff with. I was going to do a time lapse and have it kind of sweep across the sky as the Milky Way goes across the sky, but unfortunately I could not work out how to get the move, shoot, move tracker to trigger the camera at the right time with each shot. And so I really hadn't done my research properly on that. I have done it before, but it was a long time ago, and my memory leaks like a sieve, but there we go. So I'm doing more creative stuff with that. So I have been using the tracker. I set the tracker up and did a series of half a dozen or so 60-second shots, which come out absolutely fine. I tend to find just using the laser light to align to Polaris, it gives me really up to, I can certainly do a couple of minutes with no problem at all using the tracker. So I've done that, and then I've done a long exposure for the foreground as well, with a smaller aperture, just to get some better focus and better foreground detail. And then I'll blend all of those together in Photoshop, so that'll be fun trying to get that out. The sky is absolutely clear, which is great, and I'm shooting on the beach next to Joe, lady photographer, and Salim. And then I think we reckon there's at least 5 other photographers on the cliff top as well. So lots of people out tonight with their gear. And why not? It's a beautiful night, absolutely beautiful night. Conditions are great. Tide is coming in, and I'm quite close to the shoreline, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful there and make sure I don't get caught out by the tide. And but other than that, fairly straightforward shoot, really. Not too much else to report. So I'm going to crack on, get back to the camera. I'm probably going to do a vertical panorama now, and just to mix it up a little bit. So I'll get on with that, and if there's anything more interesting to report, I'll come back to you later. But a much more successful evening or morning than it was a week or so ago. We can see the stars, and that's always good news. Hi, future Nigel here, about 3 weeks later as I'm editing this video from my visit to Durdle Door. I just wanted to interject with, if I may, a couple of little things about etiquette when out shooting in the dark. Now, Durdle Door is a popular location, and it means that on any given night there, if the conditions are right, there's probably going to be quite a few people taking photographs. And by the time you arrive, you may well find, as in my case, there are people who have been there for a long time, and they are in the middle of a sequence of shots or a time lapse. And it's important, really, as a matter of courtesy, to do what you can to avoid ruining the work that they are in the middle of. So a couple of things, just in terms of photographic etiquette, if I may, just to help those of you particularly who are perhaps relatively new to this game. The first is with regard to where you pitch up. Now, I was on the beach with another lady, I think I may have mentioned that earlier, and during our shoot, a number of people arrived and chose to set up their tripod some distance in front of us, between us and the subject, being, in this case, Durdle Door. And that's really bad form, because that means all of our shots have then got people in front of us, between us and our subject. So in this particular case, the lady that I was with went and had a word with said individuals, and they agreed to go to come and stand where we were, so that they weren't ruining our shots. But really, it shouldn't be necessary to have those conversations. The second point is lights. Now, there is a growing tendency at the moment to use these kind of ridiculously bright million candle power, or whatever it is, bright as the sun head torches. When you're out shooting in the dark, you absolutely do not need to use these. You really don't. I do a lot of work in the dark, and one of my goals as soon as I can in the evening is to get my night vision, and that means using absolutely as little light as I can. And so normally I've got a head torch with me. In fact, I've normally got at least 2 head torches in case of failure. And this one, in fact, all my head torches have a red light setting. And so if I turn this one on, you can see there it's got a red light. It's not very bright, that's deliberate. And when I use this, I'm normally trying to angle it away from the scene that I'm shooting or other photographers. And I will use it as little as possible. It does have a white light, a very bright white light, and I will try not to use that unless I absolutely have to. So that's the head torch. Now, the other thing I might need to use sometimes is a hand torch, either to deliberately light a scene, but only if I've got the place to myself or others have agreed that that's okay from their point of view. But normally I wouldn't use this if there are other photographers about. The other thing that I would use it for is simply lighting where I am stepping if I've got potential trip hazards, like coming down the cliff at Durdle Door. But even then, I will hold it relatively low, as near to the ground as I can, below waist height, and I will cover as much of the beam as I can so that only a small part of it is actually shining on the path where I am about to tread, enough to make sure that I can tread safely. And once I'm past hazards, I will turn it off, and that means that I'm interrupting other people's shots as little as possible. Now, on this shoot at Durdle Door, a number of people arrived while I was shooting a time lapse, and that affected that work considerably. In one particular case, literally lighting the entire length of the beach, more than 100 meters from the foot of the the steps down to the beach. Completely unnecessary. Just please turn off your headlamps when you don't need them, and do not purchase or use these ridiculously bright headlamps. They're totally unnecessary. It will ruin your night sight and it will ruin other people's images. So just a bit of basic etiquette there. Please just help other photographers and help yourself when it comes to shooting in the dark, especially in popular locations. Okay, enough of a rant, back to the video. Well, there we go. It's been quite a long night. The time now is about 5:10 in the morning, and I have to say this has been a brilliant night. This has probably been about as clear as I have seen it ever here. And so I think we're going to get some cracking Milky Way shots, some nice time-lapse stuff. Spoiled inevitably, I'm afraid, by people with really bright torches at times, but there you go. What can you do? We don't own the beach, do we? And everybody has an entitlement to be here. And it's just, it would be really helpful for people who are particularly less experienced at this to understand the degree to which these really incredibly bright head torches that are now available are just kind of ruining things for everyone else. If you just let your eyes get accustomed to the dark, it takes about 20 minutes or so, let your eyes get accustomed to the dark, you really do not need bright torchlight. So there we go. But anyway, that's been really good. I'm looking forward to processing these, and there's probably not too much more to say at this point, other than I hope that you've enjoyed what I have been able to show of this, that it's worth persevering. My first shoot was a complete washout because of the fog. Tonight has been absolutely the other end of the spectrum. Absolutely superb night of shooting. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you now with what I hope is a great slideshow of what I've been able to achieve tonight. And I'll look forward to seeing you again next time. A couple of last things. Do like, subscribe, and all of those lovely YouTubey things. Do check out my YouTube, it's not my YouTube channel, you're on it. Do check out my website. I'll put the address below and in the link. And if you'd like to see a bit on how I process some of these images, do say so in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, whether or not there's particular aspects of astrophotography, night photography that you'd like to know more about. Again, just put a note in the comments, and over the coming weeks, months, I'll be happy to put some stuff together. Okay, so thanks again, and I'll see you again next time.
To hide the prize, and all the galaxy is there. All the galaxy is there. No moon above, just faintest light of stars and stars. So many strong, beyond the count of any man. No moon above, just faintest light of stars and stars and stars.